I created hundreds of videos for years. I had no experience when I started,
If you have something selected and you want to put it in a new layer,
but throughout the years, being a creator made me film in different countries, at home, and try new things every time. Being a creator means managing so many jobs at the same time. Filming, editing, scripting. That's why I compiled 50 tips, 50 inside this jar for you. 50 things I learned throughout the years for you to learn in a few minutes. Consistency beats motivation. Anyone who starts something new, it can be for anything, has a lot of motivation in the beginning. But then as time passes, motivation decreases. That's why it is really important to create some sort of system. For example, you're doing videos, then a video per week or a video every 2 weeks, something that you can do consistently, and then you stick to it. You have this deadline. For me, it's mostly a video per week. Keep your frame simple. When I say frame, I say everything you see around this rectangle. If you have anything in the background that's constantly moving, it is just distracting. That's why I mainly keep my background limited and simple, because your eyes know where to focus on. Keeping your frame simple doesn't create any confusion, and your viewer knows exactly where to look at. Add it to the beat of music. While you don't necessarily need to do this always, it is one of these small things and details that makes the video that much more enticing and more entertaining. It tells the story of advertising since the 17th century to the present day. If you ever need to cut your video somewhere, then cut to the beat of the music. Your titles should be interesting, thumbnails should add to the title. Having an interesting title catches the attention of the viewer, and if your thumbnail adds more information to it, it makes it more enticing to click. If you add the same text on the thumbnail as there is in the title, then it's a bit redundant. So keep that in mind next time. Start before you're ready. Just take a look at my first videos.
Welcome to the Cheap Camera Challenge. These are my headphones.
Did you think I was ready? I was completely not. It really was low quality. I didn't have a microphone. It sounded terrible. But you just do it. You just start and then you improve. You know these points that you can improve and you slowly do them one by one. Don't be afraid and really just start, even when you don't think you're ready. I'm a big believer if you wait for the perfect moment, then you lose a lot of opportunities in life. Don't worry about niche. This was and still is to a certain point an insecurity that I have about my videos because I like so many things. And the thing is, you don't have to be so afraid about it because all you have to do is really just pick one niche, start doing it, and as you do dozens of videos, you start to get more and more experience and information. And with this knowledge and what videos went well and not, and you know much better which direction you should take your channel. People stick and watch because of the story. For you to really retain people in your video, then you have to tell a compelling story. That's why all videos have an introduction, so you can understand what this video is about and for the viewers to know if this is worth their time or not. People will stay because of the introduction, and throughout the story, people will click off exactly when you finish your story. So, good video requires some thinking, editing, not just one cinematic clip. Back up your footage twice. I really recommend you to have an external hard drive and back up your any photos or footage twice, at least in 2 places. In case one breaks, you always have the other one. Learn from creators, not just tutorials. What I mean by this is you can watch so many tutorials on how to shoot video and how to edit, but don't underestimate the power of analyzing creators, watching their videos several times, analyzing how many seconds they use for this, how are the introductions, what type of music they use. I've personally learned a lot from that. The first 1,000 subscribers are much harder than the first 10,000. This is true for any type of social media because you start at zero. So it's really hard to start to get the ball rolling. As you have more inertia and momentum, then it starts to get easier for more people to look at your videos. And this tip complements the other one very well. It takes on average between 50 to 150 more or less videos to reach 1,000 subscribers. And if you really think about it, imagine 100 videos. You went through the process 100 times, really trying to make a better video each time, not just making simple videos, but really trying to get better each time. 100 times until you even reach 1,000 subscribers. Learn shortcuts. In editing programs, learning the shortcuts or doing custom shortcuts so you can cut faster will save you little time, but in the long run will save you hours. Music makes or breaks the video. Good music enhances the emotions. You have to first identify the emotion you want to portray.
私をレンタルする人にはリピーターもいます。そういう人たちと何度も会えば友人になる可能性もあります。
Do I call you Rio? Rio. You show me how it's done. But if you fail to do this, then the video has a completely different feeling. For every new video, try something new. This doesn't need to be a huge thing. You can try a new editing technique, maybe trying a new type of shot. Can be simple things that you might think that might make your video better, a new transition or something simple like that. And as you do dozens and hundreds of videos, every time your skill starts to completely compound. You'd be surprised how much you actually learn. It's okay to cringe at your old work. This is something that happens when you're doing videos for long enough. You look at your last year's videos and you start to cringe. That's a good sign that you're probably progressing. Different cameras generate different types of attention. If I'm on the streets and I start filming with a normal camera like this, pointing to people, all the attention will go to me or the camera. However, if I use a small camera that's attached to my body, then most people won't really even notice it. And that affects also what type of shots you can kind of have. Don't compare your start to someone's middle. At the beginning, I always had a lot of insecurity towards my videos. I thought they weren't good enough. I was really hard on myself. But when I look back now, I think I was being completely unfair towards myself. Comparing myself to people that have years of experience is just not fair. Don't do that to yourself. Which leads to this one, compare only with yourself. This is the healthy way. See what changed. Even if you didn't even start, compare with yourself in the past, which is nothing. So just by starting, you're already doing something better than nothing. Sound effects. Good sound effects don't get really often noticed, but people feel the difference. Don't overuse transitions. This is a really common mistake when people learn how to do transitions and they overuse them. It's really not necessary. The simple cut tool does way more than you think. Use the guidelines to follow the rule of thirds. This is for composition, of course. It's how you frame the camera. There's a lot of rules to composition. I've made a video about it, so feel free to check that out. Learn how to lock exposure and focus. If you're filming, for example, opening the door, you want the beginning to be dark. So you first want to open the door, set the exposure, then close the door. When you close the door, it's completely dark. For certain moments, it is really important. It's just as important for focus. You don't want your camera trying to focus around if you know exactly where you need to focus. Shoot a few moments before and after your take. You might need that extra moment because it fits better with the music or the story. And just by having this extra precious moments really might make a difference between how you edit your video around. It's okay to take breaks. You know, it's sometimes okay to take breaks. That's something I also have to remind myself. Learn how to throw out footage. You filmed something really cool that was really hard to do, it took a lot of work or something really unique, but when you're editing, you notice that it really doesn't correspond with the story because all you're doing is adding confusion to the story and the story is the most important thing. Take a break if editing for long. When I'm editing for hours and I'm completely tired, I edit differently than when I'm fresh. These are 2 tips in one: wide, medium, and close-up shots. Wide shots shows where you are, medium, something like this, and close-up shots really show details. And the second tip of this paper is to vary them throughout the video. Because if you have all these 3 types of shots, you have way more flexibility to edit and have a video that's more dynamic than just this simple shot. Don't let a clip run longer for 10 seconds. This goes with the other one. If you even think about movies or shows you watch on the television, you understand that there are so many camera angles that they cut to so that they keep you engaged with the show. If you let a clip run longer than 10 seconds, just like I'm doing right now, doesn't it feel a little bit boring? Film vertical for shorts. As much as I'm opposed to do that, you know when you see a short that was supposedly filmed in horizontal and zoomed all the way to fit the vertical screen, it's just not that professional. Subtitles for shorts. Most people who watch shorts are on the phone, and not all people can use sound. So having subtitles makes you able to look at the video even without sound and understand what's happening. Done is better than perfect. By just having it made and being done with it and moving on to the next video and improving again and again, you improve in the long run way faster than just by lingering in a single video and making sure it's perfect. Filming in public, use objects next to the camera. And I use objects like an old jacket. For example, when I got this shot over the street, I parked my bike with something on the basket and the camera was hidden away. If you're interested in this topic, I made a video about it. Creative block, make something bad on purpose. Well, I made videos for my friends or for my partner. Make small gifts with your craft. It takes you back to the roots.
Hoje vou ensinar o que fazer.
Organize your footage. You have all this footage, and while in the future you want to go back and use old footage, it's really hard to keep up. So organizing it makes a big difference. Have folders of often used assets you edit with. These are things I use all the time, and having them always ready for you saves you hours in editing. Creative angles are cool, but they're not everything. I think creative angles, especially in the beginning of the video, really makes the viewer enticed and engaged. But without a good story, then you're left with just cinematic video. Again, you really have to cater into the story. It's really hard to take these out now. Don't get too attached to a video. Just keep doing for the sake of doing it because you love doing it. Plan the next video, move on. You finish this one, and that's okay. Only promote what you recommend to a friend. I still nowadays use the kid's camera, especially for journaling, or this cheap projector that I still watch from time to time with my partner. These are things I only would do it because I really know they're good. Being authentic and honest creates a trust bond between you and the viewers, and I think that's really important for any YouTube channel. A loyal audience is worth more than a quick check. Well, okay, yeah, they're basically the same. I don't need to really talk about it. Think long term. What do you want to be known for? 2 years ago, I made a video about typing fast that blew up and it still gets views. I either make more videos about typing fast or keyboards, or I do something completely different and probably get less views, but ultimately, at the end, I went for this because this is what I really wanted. I want to really tell stories and make cool videos and not just about keyboard. Loving the process keeps you going. And being honest, sometimes I have to try a little to get an idea, to squeeze an idea out of me. But it's really the love of making videos that really keeps you going consistently. Make sure that you really love to make videos if you want to be a creator. And this also goes hand in hand. You won't feel like creating every week. But it is really important to sometimes push yourself a little bit because sometimes I don't feel like it, but I do it, and at the end I look back at the result and I'm like, wow, this is great. A lot of great videos when done like this. Create content you'd watch, not just content you can make. This tip is really mostly for idea generations. For example, this video, I would personally also watch myself. That's actually how I came up with it. Focus most of your editing energy in the first 30 seconds. That's really important because that's when most people click and watch the video.
Your attention and time are the most valuable resources in your life. Reality is that we live in a world that is highly optimized to distract you.
But after the 30 seconds, it quickly drops and stabilizes. Maybe like 50% of people are watching this video. If you're watching this, I love you. So really make sure all your efforts are in the beginning so you can retain more people throughout the video. Down to the last two. Clothes consistency. For example, when I went to Japan, I was backpacking, but I mostly wore black clothes because I know if I went back and edit different type of footage from different days, I can make it all consistent. My lack of clothes was not only a choice for a lighter bag, it was also a strategic choice for me to, in the future, edit videos. And last one, I specifically put this in the end because of experiences I had. I had really nice gear and it got robbed. I decided to go back to the kit lens. Now, the kit lens is the lens that people think it's crappy. I would think having a normal camera doesn't even need to be full frame camera, and having a normal kit lens is more than enough to make excellent videos. You can do so many great things. And that's why I say at the last tip that really gear doesn't matter. These are all the 50 tips. I hope I got to help you, and thank you so much for watching.